Hello, welcome to Not Another Couples Podcast. Yes, my voice is a little croaky. I'm a little bit blocked. I've got a little cold coming.
Oh.
I know, so I've got my poly scarf on.
You've got a lot of colours.
There's a lot of patterns and stars and all sorts going on. Trying to liven myself up.
Hi everyone.
Welcome. How's everybody? All good, hopefully.
Yes.
This week's excitement. We've talked about this film. Briefly mentioned it because we watched it a few weeks ago.
Very good.
It's called I Swear.
I know you do.
I do swear sometimes. But the film I Swear is based on John Davidson, who's a Scottish guy with Tourette's. And it's based on his story, basically.
Growing up in the 80s, wasn't he?
Growing up in the 80s.
Galashiels.
In a tiny little place up in Scotland.
The film's great because it's a bit like one of those shows where obviously they've set everything in the 80s, the cars, the outfits.
Yeah, just to point out, background noise, there is a road sweeper just going by, just in case you want to know what that is. That's not Mark's.
Fuck it!
So yes. So Tourette's is, I think when we were growing up in the 80s, obviously this guy was highlighted in the news on occasion. That was the first I'd never heard of Tourette's or anything like that.
I think the first I heard of it was on Blue Peter.
Yeah, and it was probably mentioning him.
Maybe, yeah.
Because he was quite a prolific...
But if the timeline's right in the film, when he starts to get recognition and starts to build the understanding of Tourette's...
We're not going to spoil it for you, but it's based on a true story.
The timeline was what... He was 80... Was it 83? But it was later. It was much later.
When you were at school?
I think it was late 80s when he started to kind of build the understanding of what Tourette's was.
I do remember... Yeah, I just, like a bit like you, I remember being on, like, Newsround or... something like that, talking about it, because I'd, never ever heard of it, never come across, and obviously as a kid and a teenager, we all thought it was hilarious because someone just walking around swearing.
Yeah, doing
like,
saying what we wanted
of swearing.
to say, well, not to say all the stuff, but
just being swearing, you're just like, because, you hadn't really seen that on TV.
But it's
or
brilliant,
like
and he's
before.
just won.
So BAFTAs have just happened.
Right.
And
what does BAFTA stand for?
British and Film Television
Awards. Well done.
So the lead actor is called Robert Aramayo. I think I said that right. He's been in things before like Game of Thrones, more minor, well not minor roles, but like,
Not lead roles.
Younger roles. And then he was in one of the Lord of the Rings and one of those sort of roles as well.
He's quite a quirky looking guy.
Yeah, he's done quite a lot of stuff. Very interesting because he grew up in Hull.
Oh.
Kingston-upon-Thames.
Kingston-upon-Hull.
And did a bit of drama and stuff at school from what I've read about him.
Billy Elliot, do you think?
Well, a bit like they did a bit of drama at school, and then applied and got into Juilliard, which is like this really high-profile performance. They call it conservatory in New York. And it's basically, I didn't know this, but Juilliard is what they based the film Fame on, or the series, Fame.
Ah. There we are.
The actors, singers, dancers.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
So it started off, I think, as a music college, specialist area. And the guy who set it all up, surname was Juilliard, so that's why it's called that.
Very good.
But he applied and got into that, and he was the only Brit in his year.
From Hull.
From Hull, which I thought was pretty outstanding work to get.
Yeah, and quite scary, because I imagine he was pretty young.
Yeah, 18.
Yeah, to go out there. Was that all... that must have cost a lot as well.
Oh, well, he got a scholarship, I don't know.
Wow.
Who knows? We don't know all those details, and
Bring him.
we don't really care. We just say, well done you.
Yes.
However you got in, well
so
done
I saw
you.
a clip for the actual guy that has Tourette's that the film is based
John
on.
Davidson is his name.
He and the actor weren't allowed to cross paths during the filming because the actor was so in the role of... He didn't want to break his character. And so... The John Davidson was always put in a separate space while he was filming, and they didn't cross paths. And when they were asking his advice, it was never together. And
right.
Apparently, he was saying that on the instinct of the gram.
Well, they call it method acting when they're like in.
Daniel Day-Lewis, he's the big one, isn't he?
So bless him, Robert Aramayo.
Well said.
It's half, I think his dad's Spanish or something. I think that's why. But there was a clip on the BAFTAs where he obviously gets announced. He won 2 awards actually. So he won lead actor and he won rising star. So I think he'd gone up and got the rising star one, and then they did the lead actor one after.
And he got that.
And his dad was like bawling his eyes out and screaming. And then he goes up and he's standing there doing a speech. There's Leonardo DiCaprio, Ethan Hawke, Michael B. Jordan, who else is in? Oh, Timothy Chalamet. So big sort of Hollywood royalty in his
A-listers.
category, and he's standing up there going, "Oh, I can't believe I can't believe I've done it. I'm here standing looking at you." He's pointing to like Leonardo DiCaprio, and I've won because it was quite a small film. It wasn't like a big Hollywood blockbuster. It was a small independent film.
Yeah.
So, and it's not actually out in the US yet.
Oh, isn't it?
No, so he can't. He's not.
The timing won't be for this Oscars.
For the Oscars, he's
yeah.
got to wait till next year, so he can get an Oscar as well, which would be great. So yeah, it was just really, nice sort of warm feeling that someone that is not necessarily a big name yet, but is now got up. And the other thing, because of Juilliard, there's obviously lots of alumni.
Yeah.
That we know. I've got a little list, but that Christopher Reeve, Robin Williams, Val Kilmer, and Kelly McGillis, who were in the same year.
Who's Kelly McGillis?
She's the original Top Gun.
With Val Kilmer?
No, with Tom Cruise.
And Val Kilmer?
They're in the same film, but
yes.
the love interest of Tom Cruise.
Val Kilmer was in the original. Yes, he was Goose. Was he Goose?
Ice.
Sorry,
Come on.
To all you Top Gunners out there.
Jesus.
Your TGs.
Sorry about him. Who else went there? So, Ethan Hawke's daughter was at Juilliard.
Right. That's a bit random.
Well, no, meaning she's in Stranger Things. She's an actress.
Is she?
Well, yeah. So she was, and he went to Juilliard to do a talk, like a, come on kids, let's get
this going.
And apparently he was really inspiring because it was when this Robert Aramayo was there.
Yes.
And talking about longevity as being an actor and being consistent and being authentic and all those sort of cool things.
Yeah.
And when he went up to do his BAFTA speech, Ethan Hawke's in the audience, obviously in his category.
Oh, weird.
And he was saying, he has talked about it. I've seen him on various different chat shows, and he has talked about it a lot. He said, "Look, I've said this a million times, but I'm going to say it again because it's so important that you came to my college, did this really inspiring sport. It inspired me to be this type of actor that I want to be." And
cleaning the roads again.
And Ethan Hawke actually looks like he was obviously really moved by it, and turned to whoever he was sitting next to and sort of almost said, "Oh, that's better than the win." They've lip read what he said.
Oh, nice.
Because he was so like,
You're getting emotional.
No.
Oh, I thought you were getting emotional.
No, I'm trying to breathe because I've got
That's
blocked.
very tight. I thought you didn't like
No,
things
not
tight
this.
around your neck.
Blocked nose. Blocked nose. Making my eyes water.
You like your mother, just talk until she can't breathe anymore.
That's just rude.
She does that, doesn't she?
Yeah, but I actually can't breathe.
Okay.
So.
Well, you can.
Okay.
Anyway,
Ethan Hawke was very moved by his acknowledgement of being part of his inspiration onward. Blah, blah,
What's
blah.
Ethan Hawke done?
You would know.
I do know.
I
do know. But
I knew you were going to ask that. I was like, I can't remember. He's been in a lot of
he's
earlier films.
He's quite some heavy roles as well.
Yeah,
isn't he?
yeah.
He's good. Yes.
Yeah, he's a very good actor. And he seems like a very nice man.
We like that, don't we? We value that quite highly.
We do. Very nice people, very nice men. We like people who are nice. So yes, the BAFTA's amazing. But go, please, if you haven't seen it, please go and watch I Swear. It is a very good film. And like we said, it's got all the 80s.
Yeah, not what's the word I'm looking for?
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia, thank you. Got that.
Well, just references and just stuff, if you grew up in the 80s like, well, I did, you didn't because you're old. You grew up in the 70s, pretty much. It's only 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at that time, if you're like 15, I'm 12. There's big.
You would.
Although actually,
you would have been going out with a buff.
We're probably the same. We're probably on the same trajectory.
I was a lot more mature
because you were a baby.
I was extremely mature.
But yeah, it's very good. It's very funny. It's very moving. It's very emotional. It's very, raw. Really, I was thinking it's a good word.
That's a good word.
It's very raw. There's no like fluff and
no, exactly
fancy slow-mo.
But you do understand the difficulties that people must go through when they're suffering.
And the change in him from being quite a confident child.
He was really sporty. Nearly got signed by the Football Academy.
Yeah, and it just started to affect him, and that affected him.
Got hit on his hand at school because he kept swearing, and they just thought he was just being rude.
Understand it, and I think that's part of it. So. The other big news from the BAFTAs was that John Davidson, the actor it was based on, was in the audience.
Yeah.
And a few times he obviously had tics where he shouted various things out. One being quite a bad one when Michael B. Jordan, another black actor, were up presenting an award, and he shouted the N-word
Oh yes.
quite loudly.
So that the problem wasn't that, because
No, it's
obviously a
not
lot of
him.
people in the audience would have known it was necessarily him to start with, and there would have been a reaction. But as you said, there was some
It's how it was
pro-Palestinian.
dealt with, basically.
They didn't clip it, did they?
No, everybody's kicking off on news and social media because they're shouting at the BBC primarily because they didn't. There is a slight delay on these awards
so
things. There is an option to bleep or cut or various things, and they did. Someone shouted out "Free Palestine," and they managed to cover that.
Right.
Because they didn't want it to become a big political.
I mean, the problem
thing.
is it was while Michael B. Jordan was actually in the middle of his speech, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm sure with the skills of computers.
But they can, because there's a delay. That's someone's job, really. And what they're more saying, okay, fair enough on the actual broadcast, when it's gone out on iPlay, that should be.
Oh, I see. Yes.
That should be done.
Yeah, that's not difficult.
Because that's a repeat thing, and people are going to keep watching it, and watching it later time. There's no excuse for it to not be dealt with.
Is anything live anymore? Like purely live?
I don't know. I think it's maybe after Jarvis Cock they've managed to. God, I sound like I smoke.
But like, yeah, sporting events are live, aren't they? So there's no. So that, I mean, with things like,
it's a second. It's a few seconds delay. It's not like pre-recorded and then put out.
But the sports are absolutely live, aren't they? So if there's streaker, they just move the camera and don't show the streaker.
So they can change but obviously sound is different. Obviously.
Yes.
They could have covered it. They could have just bleeped it out, or
or just
muted it basically.
Yes, muted the background.
Muted
noise.
that tiny bit. And he obviously did it a few times. But I mean, he's part of the film, as you will see, it's based on a true story, so it's not a spoiler. Is that he does get to meet the Queen later on and get an award. And apparently, there's a whole big thing where the Queen was obviously pre-warned or whatever, and obviously he can just swears. Everything, because he's obviously very nervous. It's more like the worst scenario where where it comes out for him was when he's like super nervous, or super stressed or anxious.
Because there's obviously been advancements in treatment with it, and at the end of the film, again not a spoiler, but at the end of the film, I can't remember which university had anyway designed something which. It was almost like an electrical.
Was it Nottingham? I think it was.
It was an electrical stimulation or something.
Yeah.
That would reduce the tics hugely, but he was the pioneer of it, so they hadn't developed it, so he could keep it on.
Yeah, it helped him. It's a bit like with Parkinson's.
Anyway, we won't ruin the film, but do watch it.
But he still has that thing that almost like a thing to chew on. Just.
Also, what I found interesting as well is that they have that. He wears it on the outside, and I wonder now. Because everyone with Tourette's has that. It's an emblem. It's a kind of almost the sign, isn't it? So that people know and understand. If someone screams, you turn around and you see them wearing that, you'd be like, okay. Hopefully, if people are now educated enough to see, if they see it looks like a blue onyx kind of stone. It's not stone, is it? I imagine because they chew.
No, I don't know.
They bite into it, but yeah. So yeah, amazing, yeah. But you realise how little we knew back then.
I mean, you laugh at the film because it is.
Well, there is
funny.
a comedic, yeah.
There are, it's a drama. It's all the things. There's a lot of family emotions that what happened to his family, him growing up and all the trauma that he went through and how he was like taken advantage of throughout his life and various different people, but really core people in his life that
stuck with him
and helped him and made him able to do what he did basically.
No,
it was very it was a really good film. So highly recommend. Highly. But yeah, so the BAFTAs is obviously ongoing. All the prolific, Jamie Foxx is kicking off about the N-word being shouted, and I was like, you're over in America, you're not at the awards, you don't know what happened. Yes, the N-word is horrific and should never ever be.
Yeah, and as you said, they should have edited it afterwards.
Have a go at the BBC. It's the BBC's fault.
Yeah.
I don't think he was specifically having a go at John Davison, but it's almost like saying it's almost like saying he shouldn't have been allowed there. He shouldn't. I'm like, come on, the whole film is about him. You can't not have him there.
Yeah.
And also awareness. People are now talking about Tourette's even more. Wider spread.
Yes.
That film has been released here, and so everybody in the UK who's seen it or heard about it or read about it or whatever will understand a little bit more about it, because I don't know anyone.
No, we had a guy.
And obviously, there's different levels.
Yeah, we had a guy at school, not with the verbal tic, but the physical tic.
Yeah.
and that would get, if he had to do anything in public, talk or read out in class, it would be like he'd broken his neck, to the point where one side of his neck, his trap, just got so developed. No, it wasn't at school. This was at college. This was at Poly. So at Poly, it's like massive trap. It was phenomenal. There's a guy on Insta at the moment, and I thought it wasn't real, and then Flynn said, yeah, who's just been training one trap. I mean, why? So he's got this massive trap one side, and then this... I'm like, so every day he's just doing trap raises, shrugs. Like,
well done.
Yeah,
well,
good lad.
What? Yeah.
Good lad, well done.
It's not even like in an experiment or in a research project or...
Because we've got the, not enabled, what's the games coming up in Vegas in May where everyone's taking drugs? Enhanced games. And Prescott, one of the, not the politician, Prescott, a sprinter, has gone. But he's claiming that he's going to go there, not take drugs, and prove he can still be the quickest, even with people who have enhanced themselves. Yeah. Well, I mean, good for him if that's true. But
yeah, but how are they going to prove that?
Well, he needs to clinically prove it. He needs to get an independent body to test him, because that would be wonderful if someone could go in there. But I'd be very surprised if they let him openly do that, because that diminishes all of these other Muppets. Because there's an ex-swimmer, isn't there, British swimmer, who's got massive, taken as much as he can.
But my worry is the medical side of it, as we know the world's strongest men are not natural. They're very big, strong men, but then they take anything to help them improve what they do. And that's just a whole different category, but they're all doing it, so it's not like... But, it's so bad for their bodies.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of them, but I mean, the bodybuilders now will constantly have blood tests and blood checks to see what's happening in terms of liver function or whatever. So their pharmaceutical knowledge is...
Yeah, I get, but they want to push the boundaries,
Yeah.
So they see it works, and so they go, I'm going to take more. And they see that works, so they'll take more.
Yeah.
Bodybuilders, again, another whole different category. But as athletes, especially if there's massive prize money and stuff like that.
You heard that as well, didn't you? That after Flynn was playing in the academy finals at Gloucester, six weeks, we were saying the difference between a Premiership rugby pitch and a Premiership football pitch is this one. Gloucester's got the main sponsors are Speedy Skips. It's great. It's an amazing stadium.
Yeah, it's great.
But when the Saracens finished, they had to go and get bloods taken.
I don't know whether it was all the team or whether it was specifically a couple of them. Maybe they just spot checked them. I don't know. Not for drugs. I don't think it was just to see how their bodies have reacted pre and post match.
Yeah. I've got an athlete at the moment.
Because it would be urine test if it was for...
Yes. I've got an athlete at the moment who's diabetic and also fasting at the moment, which is really tough. Really tough. So he came in for testing yesterday, and
Ramadan.
And his drop off was huge. We got 2 reps of the jump test, and then you could just see the diminishing return because he's got no reserves. And actually, we did the body comp as well, and he was like, he'd actually, when did we last test him? 2 weeks. He'd lost 0.5 kilo of muscle from fasting. And you're like,
huge. Yeah.
It's a lot, very quick. So it's very tough. Very tough. I mean, fair play to him, and he's sticking with it. We've still got another 24 days, I think, we've got of Ramadan. Yeah. So he's fine if he trains later in the evening because he knows he's eating straight after when it's dusk. But then trying to actually ingest enough protein as an athlete
overnight.
Yeah, he just feels like
he's
like
sleep.
foie
Is he allowed to sleep during the day?
Oh, he's at college.
Yeah,
so
that's even harder.
He doesn't feel tired because he's still he's eating at 6 dusk, then 6:30, whatever it is now, 6ish. And he actually has 2 meals. He has one immediately, and then he has one before he goes to bed. But yeah, then he's
That's a long time, especially as an athlete. As a normal human, your body's maybe not quite as in need. You've got some extra reserve and stores, but
yeah, exactly.
As a lean athlete, and also the diabetic stuff.
I mean, if he was an endurance athlete, it was interesting. We were talking to another diabetic, good mate of ours, who's doing an Ironman, and obviously blood sugar control's key and even harder during an endurance event. But ensuring that he's in this low aerobic range, so he's just using fat utilisation. So the way, sorry, we're getting a bit nerdy, but the way of your body can get used to utilising fat more than carbs, and this is what it's all about with body composition change. So it's almost educating the body to use fat, which we have lots of. Even when you're lean, we still have lots more than we do of blood sugars. So, and he's now starting to train himself fasted, so that you start to utilise fat. Because when you feed yourself, it's almost like the insulin and the glycogen are blockers for fat utilisation. So yeah, but it means that he has to train at a very low level, that zone 2 stuff. But yeah, sorry, I don't know how we got onto that. Oh yeah, testing.
Well, testing.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Well, I think that... I'm just checking that's still working.
Yeah.
So, I mean, back to the Tourette's thing, I was thinking about that with, if you were like anywhere, so say like we're watching, rugby or a football match, I mean, there's a lot of shouting and a lot of people swearing. It's probably the ideal place for someone with Tourette's to go is a football match.
Yeah.
Because everybody's shouting and swearing.
Yeah, I mean, in a football game, if you did shout, I mean, the problem is
you need to
they
be in your
normally shout what they don't want to shout.
Yeah, so it's almost like the things you're telling you, like, don't say that word, don't say that word, don't say that, they don't have that ability
so if they're
to
watching, I don't know, City Man U, and you're in the Man U crowd, and you suddenly end up shouting, "I fucking love City," and then you'd be like, "Oh."
Yeah, you'd have to be in a protected cage somewhere.
But yeah, it must be. I mean, yeah. You imagine how difficult it is, especially, friendship
Well, I think especially
groups
back in that era, because people were so judgmental and so, there was no wokeness at all.
No.
So there wasn't any, the sort of terms and names and stuff that, everybody would say.
Yeah.
Because
oh God, it was brutal.
We were just really, ignorant to it, really. It didn't really know that would be really hurtful or horrible. People would just say stuff.
Half of it, like most things you go back to, is lack of education.
Well, it's also lack of education, but what we were seeing on TV. So on TV were comedians like Jim Davison and Bernard, whatever his name was. Bernard Matthews, that's Turkey.
Beautiful.
But yeah, those sort of people who are, I mean, Jim Davison had a character called Chalky, his best mate Chalky.
Oh yes.
And he used to do
I've forgotten that. Yes.
Yeah, an accent, and it'd all be about the mother-in-law and all, or just
it would be worse.
Just really bad, and that was on TV. That's what we're watching on TV, or all the sort of old comedic sort of series, I suppose.
Yeah. What was the one with Alf Garnett? Where he was an elderly man in a house, and there was a black actor. It was, what was that called? Upstairs, Downstairs?
No, that was something different. But yeah, I know the one you mean.
Yeah, I mean, if you think of it, it's amazing.
That's what we were watching on TV. That's what was on TV. Not that we were watching it, but that's what we were exposed to.
I imagine every generation have said, "My God, my dad's generation." Well, he's been through all what we've been through, and the war, and so on. But development in like education, social media. Do you think they're going to ban social media for 16s, under 16? It's a real push, Be interesting. I'm up for it.
But we talked
Is that
about
under
this,
60s or under 16s?
We talked about this because we said that, don't know how they police it. But obviously there's got to be, like, we talked about Flynn going on this sort of gambling.
Oh, he's Paddy Power. He can. He's 18 now.
He's, it's £2 bets. Woo! That's how it starts, people.
But yeah, I love the way they go because they just see the odds. And he went for a bet on the last game where the fly half would get a drop goal, a try, and man of the match.
It just was everything. Just like all bases covered.
Yeah, but Dad, it's 240 to 1. I went, okay, yeah, go for it, put a pound on it. But yeah. But you can see how, he says a couple of his mates at school are pretty addicted to it.
But to enable him to be able to do that, he had to scan his passport, not just like a photo. He had to send it through on a specific link.
Oh, that's true.
Physically.
So they can do it.
So they would have to do that to be able to, because at the minute, like I said, you go on a website and you say, are you 18? Yes.
We were watching that Gogglebox with that politician who got caught looking at porn in the House of Commons.
God, this is an old Gogglebox we were watching.
And he claimed he typed in tractors and something else came up. To be fair to him, obviously looking at porn in the House of Commons, but he actually did. He goes, I made a terrible mistake. I've done it twice, and I've got to live with this the rest of my life.
Yeah, and he admitted it.
As someone on Gogglebox said,
whatever he's done, at least
they worm their way out of it.
At least he's actually said, do you know what? But I mean, he just looked like some little homely farmer type guy.
His little gilet.
He's
on
probably
He was Devon and Cornwall, wasn't he? But it was somewhere down there.
But initially he was like, I'll wait for the inquest. And they were like, well, it's straight yes or no. Did you watch it? Did you watch it? There's no does the evidence show that you watched it? Obviously he was just hedging his bets at that point. And then someone else on Gogglebox was saying, do you think it's because Boris was getting, obviously this is the time Boris Johnson was in power, is he getting a load of heat? And he's just gone, come on, you just take one for the team. Let's, like Trump does, let's just have a distraction. Everybody's talking about you. And then I can just So
did I tell you that obviously I got taken to the rugby by an old client on Saturday, and he goes to quite a lot of these corporate dues, and he was with Jack Knoll, who's the ex-England winger, who now plays in France. And there was a story ages ago that Jack Knoll was in the press that he was going to play flanker.
Oh yeah, you talked about that.
And it was all hype. It was Eddie Jones just Eddie Jones went to him and said, look, we're going to put this story out so it takes the pressure off him, and the England team. So just go with it. And so, I remember it. There was all this talk. Oh, Jack Knoll. Oh, he'd be brilliant at flank. He never trained. They said he was training in that position. But
that's what PR. That's PR. Yeah, so, because that happened to me when remember years ago I did that thing for that computer game. So back in the day before, you'd hire a PR company to promote. I was doing my fitness DVDs or whatever.
Harder, firmer.
And firmer.
Reborn one.
Woo! And they would. They devised, because it was another client of theirs in the PR company who did computer gaming. I can't remember the name of it, but this computer game was called Silver or something.
Oh yes, yeah.
And so they obviously it's not outrageously unbelievable, but saying that one of the characters was designed on me as a gladiator at that particular time because they had dark hair and looked like a superhero type thing. So I did a whole thing, and I had to talk to all these computer. I mean, I know nothing about gaming now. I do absolutely nothing about gaming back then. And I had to talk to all these, be interviewed by all these sort of nerdy sort of gaming magazines and things like that.
What graphics are you using?
And I was like, so I was just having proper blag. I mean, I didn't lie. I just blagged.
Well, you did lie.
I didn't lie.
You did lie.
I just sort of said, but they asked you things like, what's your favourite game to play? And I was like, don't really play. Don't know any of this stuff. Don't know anything about it. In my head.
Connect 4.
I was basically being a politician. I was going, yes, it's really great, this character, and back to the game. It's nothing to do with me, but yeah. But so it happened, and you're just a bit like, well, that's just shit, but...
Yeah, it's PR, but yes.
It's the way it works, people.
Yes.
Yes, Yes, so yes, no betting for you, then. Did you bet on rugby?
No. But I told you the tenant next door at the gym bet on Ireland. He's English, for Ireland to win. That was 11-1, and he put a tenner on it or something. So he was quite happy. And I'm still last in the fantasy rugby, which is just after winning it 2 years in a row. It's how the mighty fall, as they say. How the mighty fall. But then the person I went to rugby with, his son is a proper Six Nations fantasy nerd. So I'm going to be tapping on him and going, right, give me a team.
What's your team?
Yeah, can I have
What's
a
your
team?
Please? That's cheating.
I even put it into ChatGPT. What's the best team for round 4? And interesting enough, it couldn't work it out.
Ooh.
Yeah, it said France. I went, no, an individual selection of the best
team.
Players
from all nations.
And it obviously no one's put it, because all they're doing is drag it from the internet, but no one's actually put anything out there yet, because it goes, from round 3. I said, no, round 4. We can't predict that. Well, guess. Oh, it doesn't like that stuff.
But you should be able to, from the stats of what they've played, surely, and how
they've
played.
Yeah, but I think it's the way. Obviously, I worded it wrong for it to be able to answer, because I've used a kind of human technology. Human terminology.
Please give me from the stats recorded from previous matches.
Yes, if I've gone, exactly.
Da 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 da. If you put da 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 da, they'll get it.
Oh yeah, they'll come out with a song.
All right. Well, BAFTAs. Get watching. I swear, brilliant film.
Yes.
Well done to Robert and all the people involved in that film, because it was very well acted.
It reminded me. What was the film about the boy? The series that was on TV, it was quite gritty like that, where the boy actually...
Oh, they did it all in one shot.
Yes, where the boy killed the girl and the story. Anyway, that wonderful actor.
Yes, but it's a very gritty English, British,
and
not
it
English,
makes you.
British.
It's one of those films
sorry.
that just makes you think, and you go, God, what if that was me or one of my family members?
Yeah, because it's very relatable as far as like the family setups and the emotion and having children like we do, teenagers, and everything that they go through that we've forgotten about because we're 465 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, it was very good. I love it when films like that. I'll remember that film. There's lots of people go, "What's your favourite films?"
Yeah, because it was
top 3 films.
It was based on true stories. So
I always go back, but
real.
I don't know if it's actually true now. I also my favourite film is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, but I don't know if it actually is.
I think that's just a romantic thing of you thought you were Robert Redford.
Yeah, and I did fancy the girl on the bicycle.
Oh, here we go. Now it all comes out.
But I can't remember her name. I need to get my facts right and my knowledge base.
Facts. You got to fax me.
Oh, thank you. Facsimile.
Anyway, fax us with some facts.
Yes,
That'd be
please.
great. Have a good week, everybody. See you next week. Bye.
Ta-ra.